I'm Brayden Rakes, and this is my wife Heather.
And we're from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Tournament fishing for me was definitely a hobby. Coming out of college, really, we just kind of fell in love with doing high school ministry. And we had been youth pastoring for maybe a month or two before we got married. And the next year, we're sitting at Hope Celebration, and we're really still figuring out what giving looked like as a couple. And I remember sitting through and watching a couple's story and how they used their business for God's kingdom. And so I just remember sitting there and going, you know, how can maybe my fishing be used for God's kingdom? Is at the end of Hope Celebration, and we're holding the card in front of us, and both of us were kind of just praying about what the Lord was asking us to do then. So she kind of said, well, I'm thinking this, and I was thinking the exact same thing. It was crazy. And it was a lot for us. We gave it, and when we were giving it, I just kind of told Heather, I was like, you know, I think this year when I tournament fish, the first check or the first tournament, I'm just going to give everything to God and to OneHope, and just almost as just a tithe for the rest of the season.
The year before, in his fishing tournaments, we actually spent money, you know, getting to the tournaments and paying entry fees, and all of those things add up. And so the truth is, when we decided to give the first fish or give a first fruits offering to the Lord from these tournaments, it could mean giving everything we got that day or even for the year. It was this kind of somewhat scary moment. The thing was, too, is that when you make money in fishing, or what little bit you can get, it either covers your expenses or goes for a young couple like us to something like a house or a car. I didn't have a car at the time, and so any money we could have gotten would have really helped out a lot.
And she was actually fishing that first tournament with me. It's a 2-day tournament. Halfway through the first day, we had nothing. And I just kind of remember being like, well, it's just gonna be another one of those tournaments. And we were like, well, let's just go try this other spot. So we pulled in and we start fishing, and we're kind of pitching in the grass and stuff. And I pick up, and the next thing I know, my line's just it's about 10 foot over from where I pitched in, and was like, just set the hook. And as soon as I set the hook, we both knew it was huge. Fight the fish, end up getting the fish in the boat, and there was a moment where I thought, we might be like giving a boat to OneHope. So we ended up weighing that fish in, and we won a $1,000 check with that fish. It didn't end up winning the whole thing. We ended up catching 2 more fish that tournament that got checks, and we gave all of it to OneHope to kind of start off the year. Coming out of that tournament, we ended up placing in every tournament after that, and probably had the best year of tournament fishing that I've ever had. And following that year, at the last tournament, the Oakley Big Bass Tour guys pulled me into the trailer and offered to cover my expenses and stuff at those tournaments.
I think that when we decided to give this way, it was God teaching us and showing us his faithfulness and that we could trust him, but we were able to give more than we ever could have that year. And because ultimately it's not just about us, it's about the kids, and God's heart is always for those kids, and he's gonna do whatever has to be done to make sure that they receive the gospel. And if it's through using us that thought we didn't have much to give, he'll do it, because we matter to him, but those kids matter to him too.
And it's opened up doors with kids in our own youth group and our own church and our own surrounding area, because now they see me on Instagram, on the Oakley Big Bass Tour's Instagram or Facebook, and they're like, oh, I want to go fishing with this guy. He's legit. So, you know, the impact ended up being a lot bigger than I think than we ever expected it would be.